Hello there. My name is Bruno Bertucci. I'm married to Kylie Bertucci, Kylie's Bertucci, and this is a live, not live, stream for you. We have had to return back to Melbourne for this time, and we will be in Melbourne by the time that this video plays. But we had to go for a funeral, so I think we spoke about it during the video last week. But anyway, we're in Melbourne now, so that's why we can't be here live. But we wanted to keep this program running, and we are really excited about the project that I've got to show you. Now, I've made half of the prototype, so today it's going to be, let's see how the rest of it goes. But I have a feeling that you're going to like it. I really like it too. If you haven't already done this, please subscribe to our channel. Please like this video. And if you think someone might enjoy this project, share it. But anyway, before we get started, we've got a few things that we need to let you know about. I've cleared out some of the shelves, so you'll see a bit of empty space over here, but you can also see some projects there. There's 8 projects along there, and they are our projects from Online Stampin' Retreat. Wow, we had such a good time with Online Stampin' Retreat, and we really, really, really thank you guys for supporting us in that way. We have, let's see if I can find the slide. We have our previous, for a very short time, we've opened up our vault. So many people who come to Online Stampin' Retreat want to go back and buy all the ones that they've missed out on. So we've opened up our vault. So all you'll need to do is visit onlinestampingretreat.com. And you can purchase the previous retreats. But also we've got our next Online Stampin' Retreat, which we've opened up the waitlist for. So if you want to join that, again, visit www.onlinestampingretreat.com and you'll be able to do that. So that's awesome. Now, something else I have to tell you about, I did make a new slide. As you know, we have a sale on at the moment. Now, this is a sweet sale, and it's sweet, S-W-E-E-T, for sweets, S-U-I-T-E-S. Now, the way that you're going to get the best value out of this deal is if you purchase 2 full sweets. Now, if you purchase 2 full sweets, the second suite, which is the one of lower value, will be 50% off. Did you hear that? 50% off. So you're going to want to take advantage of this sale. And I'm going to use, in our project today, there's 2 suites that we use. So, or parts of 2 suites that we use. So that will be really helpful for you if you want to take advantage of that deal. Is there anything else that I need to tell you? I don't think there is, but let us get underway and let's go to our down-facing camera. Oops. Down-facing camera doesn't work, so let's just get that going. Okay, I think I've got that ready, so let's go to the down-facing camera. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's get started. So I'll put my glasses on because I can't see a thing. Now, like I said, the project is half finished, and this is the half that isn't finished, which is the cover. Now, I've got an idea of what the cover is going to look like. So this is okay. It's a Slimline card. And the dimensions that I'm going to be using today are all imperial. There was this quick reel that I based this project off. It was a non-Stampin' Up. It was like, it looks completely different. Like it's completely different. So anyway, it's, yeah. So anyway, let's just look at it. What? How did you do that? We're going to make it. And it's really quite simple. So anyway, let's get going and I'll show you how to make it. So first of all, we have 2 pieces of cardstock. This is the outside card base, and that is 8 inches by 8 inches, scored at 4 inches. And this one, I'm going to put that aside. This one here is 7 3/4 by 7 3/4, and it's scored at 3 7/8 of an inch. So let us do this. I'll just score that, burnish it. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to draw on the outside, and you won't be able to see it, so it's no problem at all. Now, the first mark that we're going to make is at the 4-inch mark. So we'll make a mark at 4 inches. And I'll write it there so you can see it. Now I'm going to make another mark 2.5 inches from there. So between there, 2.5 inches. And I'll make another mark 1 inch from there. So now I'm going to move my ruler, and I'm going to measure 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch, okay? So between those two is 1 inch, and 1 inch, and 1 inch. Now I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to draw a line that goes for 2.5 inches. Okay, so that's 2.5 inches. I'm going to draw another line here. No, I'm not going to draw a line there. I'm going to draw a line here, which is 1 inch. Now this line here, I'm going to draw a line which is 2 inches. This line here, I'm going to draw a line which is 1 3/4 of an inch. And this one here, I'm going to draw a line which is 1.5 inches. Now I know that looks complicated, but you guys are going to flip when you see how easy it is. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to get our ruler, and we're going to join these 2 points here. Now remember, this is 2.5 by 2.5, and so this is half a diagonal between those 2 points. So this would be a square, and this one here is 1 inch by 1 inch, so that would be half of that. Can you sort of see where we're heading now? Okay, I think you can. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a line like this. It doesn't really matter what the angle is. So I'm just going to draw a line from there to there. Now all I would just suggest is that the lines are sort of in the same angle. It doesn't matter what the angle is, but just that they're at the same angle. Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to take a screenshot there so that you know exactly the measurements that we have here. And this piece, by the way, is 7 3/4 of an inch by 7 3/4 of an inch, and it's scored at 3 7/8 of an inch. Okay. The outside card that goes on the outside is 8 inches by 8 inches, scored at 4. Okay, that's it. Now what we're going to do is we are going to cut this line, cut this line, cut this line, and cut this line, and cut this line. These diagonal lines, or the angled lines, are going to be scored. Okay, got that? It looks so messy, and I'm sorry that I've drawn on this, but this is going to be glued down, so it doesn't matter at all. Now, let's get our trimmer and work this out. So, what we can do, we can remember the first one was this mark, this point here is halfway through the card. So that's the central point, that's easy. Now to line up, I'm just lining it up with 4 inches here. But even though we have a line, now these lines here, all we really want to do is to work out where they end, where the cutting ends, okay? So we can also do that by looking at the track as well. So we'll just line it up to 2.5. There we are. And we're going to cut. And so that cut through both of those. That's great. Now this cut here is 1 inch from there. So that will be at the 5-inch line. And again, we know where to stop, and that's at 2 inches. So we lined it up with 2 inches, push it through, cut. Excellent. 1 inch from here is 6 inches, and that's at 1 3/4 of an inch. So what we're going to do is line up at 1 3/4 of an inch, cut. And the next one, we'll open this up, and we'll go down to 7 inches, and this is 1.5 inches from the end there. So again, we line it up with 1.5 inches and cut. Excellent. Now the only other cut that we have is this one here. So we'll rotate that around just to make it a bit easier. And that is at 1/2 inch from the bottom. Or, yeah, we'll do it that way. 1/2 inch from the bottom. And that's 1 inch from the end there. So we've got that line up there. Well, went a bit far, but that's okay. Now, for scoring, if you are comfortable using the scoring tool through there, you can use that. But I'm going to make it even easier. And I'm going to score using the ruler. And just score along there. Same thing with this one. Same thing with this one. And same thing with this one. And same thing with this one. Now to make sure the scores work, all I do is just fold them back, fold them back, fold them back, fold them back, and fold them back. Now, what we actually want to do is we want to fold them in the opposite direction. So we'll fold that up and score it in that direction. You can burnish it along there just to make it good. Again, you want to do the same thing with this one. Fold that up. Good. And these ones here, we just want to pop them up and they should automatically just fold the way that they should. And they do. So that is how we do it, my friends. Isn't that simple? How effective is that? Now we're just going to decorate. So while we have it here, let's just do some stamping over here. I want to do some white embossing, and the stamp that I want to use is this one here from the Sweet Blooms stamp set. Now the Sweet Bloom stamp set is from the sorry, I just had something happen to the computer. So yes, the Sweet Blooms stamp set is the one that we are using. And this is a part of the Flowers in Bloom. There it is, the Florals in Bloom Sweet Collection. So as you can see, there's a double bundle, 2 bundles in this. There is some designer series paper. There is some embellishments there too. So buying the whole suite will definitely give you the best value, because then you can purchase an additional bundle. If I go to the home page and click on the 50% off, when you click on this, you can get, for example, if you wanted this one here, let me show you what happens. So I'm going to add this to my cart. And now I'm going to add the Florals in Bloom to my cart. And let's see what happens. So can you see what happened there? We have one suite collection, normal price. The second suite collection, which is the cheaper of the two, is 50% off. So do yourself a favor, people. Get that, take advantage of that deal. So anyway, Sweet Blooms, this is the one that we're going to use. And we're going to use this stamp set here, You Make Me Smile. Now, I want to white emboss because I love white embossing. So I'll just apply this embossing buddy and stamp using Versamark. Very nice. And now I'll apply the embossing powder. Get rid of that. Nice. Just a bit on the K. Beautiful. That's very nice. Okay. So let's emboss this. beautiful. Oops, sorry about that. Hopefully that didn't make a loud noise for you. Now I love the way that white embossing looks on dark cardstock. It just looks stunning. So that's it. Now let's get to decorating this. First of all, we'll do these 4 panels here. Now remember, what we have is this one here is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So if I cut a piece of cardstock which is 5 inches by 2.5 inches, we will be able to get that. Now this cardstock, this designer series paper is from the Floral Delight suite. Now this is another suite that you can add to your cart and get 50% off this entire suite. So let's go to screen share. There we have the background there. So if I get rid of this one here and instead add the Floral Delight, you can see we have, it's at last chance, so this is going soon, but that's okay. Let's add that to our cart, view shopping cart, and we can see that rather than being $155, this is just $77.63. And keep in mind that that's your subtotal, but you also receive a voucher for almost $30 to spend on your next order, which is awesome. So let's go back to our Proge down facing. That's the one we want. Now this is from Floral Delight. So let's cut this one into a piece which is 2.5 inches by 5 inches. Okay, so this is, where's our piece? So that's the width there. So if we cut that in half, let's cut that in half. So make it 2.5 inches. And so now what we want to do is we want to cut along here and along here. So let's do that. Let's see if we can do it at the same time. So we've got that, and we've got that. So these two we won't use for now, but we will use them later. These two here we will use, and let's adhere them. So if my calculations are correct, they should fit there. Now, as with all diagonal pieces of cuts, you might need to cut them, but they seem to fit quite nicely. So let's just leave it like that. So let's adhere those. I'm not in my own crafting space, so I don't have all of my normal products that I use, like Seal Plus. Very nice. Now this one I just adhered a bit skew-if, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a bit of a haircut across the top. Very nice. Now what we can do here is we can also use these pointy edges here and stick them like that. In fact, I'm going to stick them first and then I'll give them a haircut afterwards. Just to make it a bit easier to give the haircut. Just fold that like that. So we'll just give that a closer haircut. There. So that gives it a Hessian bag kind of look. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some designer series paper in the back here, and you might have seen these at the start of the project on the side. All I did was cut a piece of designer series paper. Again, this is from this sheet of paper, which is this on the back, and I just cut some. And the size that I cut it is 4.5 inches by 3 inches, and I cut it in half this way, which makes it 2.25 by 1 inch. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some glue and then I'll trim it later using my very exact method that you saw earlier, which isn't very exact at all. And so these aren't the actual flowers that you saw. These are just the background to the flowers. And so I've made it so that the picture continues, which is really quite cool, I think. Tell me, what do you think? Do you think it's cool that the picture continues like that? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fold along there and along there and along here and along here and along here, oops, and along here, just so that I have a score mark on the designer series paper, and then I can just go and cut that. If I had cut that at the correct, like a proper angle, it would have been easy to do that, but I didn't. So this is the next best thing. Now, you know what? You might think that you're going to leave the project like that. You might be happy with that. I would be happy if I received a project that looked like that. That looks great. But that's not how I operate, you know that. So what I'm going to do is I've taken a piece of which sheet did I cut it from? Okay, so this design, I've taken it and I've hacked it. Now some of the flowers on this have dies that cut out. For example, this one here, this die here, cuts out this group of 3 flowers. Let's see if there's another sheet of this. This die here cuts out this group of 3 flowers. I cut out some of these. I fussy cut those. I fussy cut these ones here. And I fussy cut these ones here as well. These green ones here. So let's bring everything onto the screen and I'll show you how I did that. So first of all, we've got those 2, we've got these ones over here, we've got these ones, we've got these ones, and I just cut that one out. I'm not sure if I'll use it. You can't see all of that. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see all of that. Let's go to, is that zoomed in as far as it goes? No, that's as far as it goes. Sorry about that. So, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just align these the way that I think they might be good. So let's stick those ones down. Now you can go over the edges of all of these and it won't matter. Just as long as it doesn't cover the crease. Actually, it doesn't matter if it does, actually, now that I think about it. And let's stick these 3. Okay, now I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these down here, and the reason for that is that when I open it up, I felt like there was a lot of space here that I needed to cover. So I'll just apply some glue along here. The same thing over here. Okay, so you can, yeah, it looks a bit neater. Yeah, I just realized that I used the same different colors on both sides. Didn't even mean that. Now on this next panel here, I'm going to pop some of these on. So I have, we can put one, put a small one over here. So we've got these group of 3, and we can put a group of 4 on this side. Now, I don't remember seeing a project like this. Has anyone seen a project like this? Can you let me know in the comments? I always get really excited when I see different projects that, like folds that are ones that you haven't seen before. Yeah, they always make me smile. And hope you can imagine receiving a card like this. I think it would be very exciting for the recipient. And so I'll put these 4 along here. Very nice. Now let's put these ones just in this intermediate panel here. So we'll put a big one over here. Small one over here. Big one over here. I mean, little one over here. And of course, you can do whatever, like you can arrange your flowers in whatever way you wish. This is just a way that I thought might be useful for using the images that are already on the designer series paper. Cutting them out. If they've got dies, like I love how they have dies, some of them. I can put that over here. Let's do that. So that's the inside of the card. It's really effective having that designer series paper in the background. It really makes everything stand out, I feel. So let us work on the inside, the outside now, sorry. Whoops, that should go in like that. Very good. So, like I said, I have done most of this project, but I haven't done the cover. I have an idea of what I might do, but I haven't actually made it. So one of the ideas that I did have was to add, I could add it that side, but that's not very me, is it? So I'm going to add the other side. I really like this piece of designer series paper. So let's stick that down. I'm really not a fan of using liquid glue on designer series paper because sometimes I feel like I can see it, see the glue. Very nice. Now the sentiment I wanted to use is also from this stamp set, and I wanted to say, have a lovely day. So lovely, I wanted to stamp in my favorite new color, which is Secret Sea. And so I have it already here on a stamping block. Is that going to fit there? Let me just get another one. Could do it that way, save some paper. Honestly, Secret C, I feel is my new black. Even though it is a dark blue, I feel like the stamped image is beautifully dark and black. And I love, love, love the way that it stamps. This is my new black. Now, fortunately, there is a coordinating die in this set. So this is the Sweet Blooms set, and this is the die. So let's run that through the machine. And from the magic of television, here we have it. Oh, you're such a loser. Anyway, hopefully you smiled at that. So that is going to be my sentiment, part of the sentiment. The other thing that I want to do is I want to stamp have a and day onto Secret C. So let's do that. And again, from the magic of television, there we have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to align it something like this. Have a lovely something like that. So what I might do is I might just trim the top one, have a. In fact, I might trim the bottom one too. So, have a lovely day. I could leave it like that, but I wanted some interest in the background as well. So I was looking at this sheet of paper and I liked this sprig of red. So as you can see, there's a big chunk taken out of here because I cut one out. So what I thought I would do is I can either stick this here and do that. I could add these on dimensionals and stick the rest down, but I would be very happy with that. What do you think? Well, hopefully you say, yeah, Bruno, I like that. Because you're Americans, aren't you? So let's do it. I'm happy with that. Now this part is a bit ugly, so I want to just make sure I cover that. So that's the positioning that I'm going to do. So if I add lovely there, that will work. So let's just apply some adhesive on the back here. This is going to be very tricky. So again, let's put that where it needs to go. And then let's stick this down. Great. Wow. I'm very impressed with this card, can I just say? I'm surprised. Because it's so not, yeah. I love the construction of it, but it's so not the type of cards that I normally make. But when I saw the reel that inspired this card, and like it's, yeah, it was like made out of copy paper, the original version, and it, yeah, it's just completely different. Oh, I just had an idea. Oh, is it gonna work? Have a lovely day. Okay. Now there's some embellishments here. I'm just gonna go and find them. Please wait. Found them. These are the ones that are in the suite. So, of course, I'm going to use these beautiful dark ones. Wow, they're very nice. Let's use this mid-size one. Wow, these are very, very nice. Of course, I'm picking them up unco. Very nice. So let's see if this idea that I had will actually work. I have a feeling it will. So let's see what I can find in this cupboard. Oh my goodness, should I do? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Okay, let's do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the stabby tool. And I'm going to stab it there and stab it there. This is Baker's Twine Essentials Pack. It comes with 5 colours and lasts ages. So if you don't have it, get it and it will last you forever. So how am I going to get this through there? Should I just stab it through? Maybe I have to make the hole a bit bigger. I hope I didn't wreck it. Oop, got it through, yes. Okay, is it going to go through the other side? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I know you're probably telling me the best way to do it. Okay, okay, I'm just going to try it one more time and hope for the best. I got it. Now, what am I going to do? So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to tie this. How can I do it? Okay, yep, got it. Pull this up and I'm going to so let's that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this in a knot. Might make a bit of bulk, but that's okay. And I'll just double knot it. And I'll tie a little bow. What do you think? Do you think that adds a nice touch? Okay, so let's just pull that through. Whoops, that's a bit loose. Not loose. I didn't leave too much there. That's okay. Let's pull that through. And what I will get is a piece of Chihuahua tape, which if you watch Online Stampin' Retreat, you know that that's what Gina calls or called Terran tape. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like it, but anyway. Let's just make it a bit smaller. Might like it if it's smaller. Great. Okay. Now, if I had to do it again, I would probably move the whole thing down, probably about 1/2 inch, but that's okay. I can cope with that. Now, you're probably wondering, Bruno, where am I going to write on this card? Let's make a panel on the back. So we'll grab a piece of basic white. And what we want to do is we want it to have a nice frame around the outside. So remember, this is 4 inches by 8 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. So we'll just do this one. Oh, this is the wrong trimmer. Let's not talk about the trimmer. So 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. So that will fit nice there. And of course you can leave it like that, but of course we don't want to do that. Let us, what can we do? Could we cut a strip? Let's cut a strip. No, let's not cut a strip. Let's fussy cut along a strip because we can. Do you guys like fussy cutting as much as I don't? Yes, it's not one of my favorite things to do. So let's just cut along between here. And we'll evaluate before we stick whether it looks nice or whether it looks ridiculous. The jury's still out. What do you think, people? Should we leave it like that? Or should we, what's the stamp set called again? Pretty Florals. Did I get that out? We could use this one here. That might look nice. Let's do that. See, I told you I hadn't fully prepared this. So this will be nice, and I'll stamp it in my favorite new color. So let's get the I like that, and I hope you do too. So let's just stick that down, and then we will stick everything together, which is very exciting, isn't it? You know what? I don't like it, so I'm going to try something else. Let's go back to this piece of designer series paper. And let's cut it along here. And let's cut a 3/4 of an inch strip. Maybe 1 inch because I want to cover that stamp. That's much nicer, isn't it? So let's just stick that down. Ooh, that's very nice, but I've got another idea just to make it even sharper. Love it. Wow. It's very neat, isn't it? I'm glad you guys bullied me into doing that. Wow, I love that. I would be happy if that was even on the cover. So, what do you think of the project so far? We still have to assemble it together, which when I did the first version seemed to go okay, but you never know when you're live or live but not live how things are going to go. So let's put it together. So that basically just needs to sit in there. And the only thing that, like, you can just leave the card like that, but sometimes it's a bit annoying that you can see through. When you use the same color, it tends to just fade into each other. So I really like that effect. So let's do that. What we're going to do is we're going to apply glue on one side, push it in, and then we'll apply it and then close it. Apply glue on the other side and then push it in. Close that. Now there is a bit of bulk in there when you're closing it, so you could consider applying some magnets or something like that, or if you don't mind, you might just leave it like that. So let's put some glue on. Remember, you don't want to go past any of these lines. I'm going to put some glue in there all the way up to the edge, just so it just sits nicely. So let's do that. In fact, you could use tear and tape. Did I just spray glue? But again, we want to have that. I mean, the reason why I'm using glue on this project is A, because I'm not in my room, but B, I really want it to be centered on the page. So I know you're probably all freaking out about how much glue I just put on. I'm freaking out about how much glue I just put on. Okay, does it close? Yes, it closes. So that's stuck down that side. So now let me just wiggle it around. Okay. And you know what? Even though it's not exactly centered, because it's the same color, you can't even notice it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue on this side. Do you know why I didn't get a new bottle of glue before I started? And see how all the drawing that I did, it's all covered, so it doesn't matter. Draw away. And there we have it. This is one of my favorite cards that I've made in such a long time. Do you like it? Are you going to try it? I'd love to see it. Please tag me. And I really like how this came out. So that's really nice. And of course the back. There we have it, people. So, what do you think? Do you like this project? I like it. Have a lovely day. Or should I open it like this? Wow. Which way? That way. Ah. I really like it, and I hope you guys like it too. So one thing, reminders that I have to give you. Let's see what I have to share with you. We have this, of course, online Stampin' Retreat. Join the waitlist for our next event. You're going to want to do that stat because there's a special offer only for those on our waiting list. We also want you to remember that our past retreats are open for you to purchase. You get all the videos, all of the tutorials. The tutorial is really good. Can I just say, it's a lot of work for us to put it together, but it's really good. And we check them. I check all of the projects myself. I make them in metric and imperial. And so if there's a mistake, it's just literally a typo. I've tested them all and they work. So all of the retreats have amazing projects, and there's alternative samples that you can really benefit from. So to benefit from this, visit www.onlinestampingretreats.com and you will be able to purchase those past retreats, which is awesome. The other thing we want to let you know about is, of course, we talked about this throughout the whole video, the 50% off second suite sale. Like, honestly, this is the best deal. And if you go back to where I was talking about that, how you can get the most out of it, buy one full suite and you get the second full suite 50% off. You're going to want to take advantage of that because that finishes on the 30th of June. Do I have to tell you anything else? Aside from, if you haven't already done this, like this video. If you aren't a subscriber, click on subscribe to this channel and click on the notifications icon so that you can receive a notification when we have new content for you. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like our project. I even love the cover of that. Like, it's so cool. Anyway, thank you. And thank you so much for watching. See you later.